Hey Lash Babes, have you been wanting to become a lash artist? Make sure to check out my Yoyis Plus membership where you can have access to my online courses from beginner to advanced styling, all from the comfort of your own home. You'll also gain access to never before seen content not found on YouTube. Members also save up to 50% off lash products with free shipping. To learn how to save money and take your skills to the next level, make sure to check the description box down below for more information. Hey Lash Babes, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to get this very extreme wispy wet set look. I'm going to start off by washing my client's lashes. I am using my Wash Me Baby lash shampoo. All the products are going to be linked down below, and you can also check them out on my website since all the products that I'm mentioning are pretty much my own products. So like I mentioned in every single video, washing will ensure that that glue and those extensions bond properly to the natural lashes. You don't want to skip this step. Doesn't matter if it takes you 5-10 minutes to do it, just do it. I promise you guys, it's going to be a huge game changer the way that that extension and the glue bonds to the natural lash. So now I'm going to rinse her off. I'm going to do the other eye, and then I'm going to fan her out. You want to make sure that you're double cleansing each eye because you don't want to leave any excess shampoo left over. So failing to do this, you will have leftover residue, and when you have leftover residue, most likely that extension is not going to be bonding. Again, I'm doing the same thing to the other eye. I usually take a lipstick applicator and dispose of it. You never want to be using the same brush on everybody, so always be using disposables for everything. I'm going to be using the Akissos Eye Pads and my own sensitive tape. Again, everything is from my own brand. The only thing that is not are these eye pads. These eye pads are probably one of the best eye pads I have used, and I love them. I keep repurchasing them, and it's been a long time since I bought any other iPads. If you guys want to know how to properly tape down your iPads, I do have a video on 4 ways how to tape down your iPads or the bottom lashes, and I am using my purple sensitive lash tape. I have them available in pink, white, and purple. So I'm going to start off with my primer called Prime Time. I'm going to make sure that I'm fully saturating the lashes and making sure that whatever was left over from the shampoo, in case we didn't fully get any oils, any leftover makeup, any residue, whatever was left over on her lash line, this is what's going to help fully prep the lashes, meaning that that glue is going to fully secure to that lash. And my primer does have alcohol, so it is going to dry out her lashes a little bit better. I know a lot of people have a misconception saying that you probably shouldn't be priming everybody, but this is just what works for me. And I know that primer is not good because it dehydrates the lash, but at the same time, it's only once every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks when your client does come in. So now I'm mapping. I'm going to be doing a very advanced styling, and you're probably going to think, what the heck is she doing? What is up with all these numbers? So I'm going to be working in sections and in layers. So as you can see, there's a lot of numbers here, and the top layer, there's going to be the longest spikes, and we're going to be working within spikes. All we're doing is spikes. So the lashes I'm using are my Royal Cashmere lashes in 0.03 C curl. I don't recommend to do this style for like a D curl. It will just look a little too crazy. I am using my Obsessed glue. It is a 0.5 second dry time glue, and my tweezers, they are launching very soon, and I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on these tweezers. They're so good. Okay, so I'm going to be starting off right in the center. Doing this will just ensure that your whole map just turns out beautifully. So always start right in the center and place your longest spike. So I'm doing a 15 in the spike, and then once I do this one, I'm going to go to the other eye and do the exact same thing. And as you can see, I am working within that same section. I'm literally going to place a 14 next to that 15 that I just placed. So now we're just going to go down in numbers and we're going to be creating chunkier looking spikes. So now I'm going to grab the next section, and this one looks like it's underneath. So I'm going to place a 13 right next to that one. And again, we are going to create a chunky looking spike. So we're working between chunky sections. And for my spikes, I'm grabbing about 5 to 10 lashes for each spike. So as you can tell, I'm just grabbing lashes that are already placed next to each other, and I'm working within that section to create a chunkier looking spike. So if it's a lot easier for you to just place one single length within that spike, say all you want to do is 15, then just do 15. But I wanted my spike to look like it gradually got shorter and the longest spike was all the way at the top. So I wanted to look like a big bold chunky spike all in one section, but I still wanted to look like gradually like thicker and thinner at the top. I know it's a little confusing, but the whole point of doing a look like this is just to have fun. Don't be afraid to play around with different lengths. And honestly, that's why I used so many different lengths. And as you can tell, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spikes that I'm going to be doing throughout her whole entire lash line. And by spikes, I mean sections, because again, we're going for that chunky, bold spike look. So as you could tell, I placed 15 at the top, and now I'm looking for the next lash underneath it, and we're gonna make sure we fully isolate it. So as you can tell, this was the next lash underneath that one, and we're gonna fully isolate it. And as you guys can tell, her lashes are like fluttering, like she did not stop talking the entire time. So it's kind of hard for me to control her opening her eyes. I will do a separate videos on how to control somebody with fluttery eyes, and I did isolate, guys, so don't worry of the fact that it looks like there's lashes underneath it. The lashes did not get stuck to each other. So if this does happen to you, and if you can tell that nothing is going to get stuck to it, then it's okay. As you can tell, I moved it around and there was nothing stuck to it. So the whole time that I'm doing this, I'm working back and forth between both eyes. You do not want these spikes to get glued to each other. So giving it enough time to dry, you want to make sure you're working on both eyes. So as you can tell, now I'm going down in numbers. So if I place the 15 first, I'm going to do 14 next, and then the next lash I'm going to do a 13, and then the lash all the way at the bottom is going to be a 12. So as you can tell, I'm working within numbers and layers and just pretty much placing a millimeter shorter on the lash below it. So as you can tell, and again, I did want to mention that my client does have very, very sensitive eyes, and I've done her lashes a few times, and she is just very crazy. Like she can feel those extensions on her eye. So with her, I try to get or place the extension a little bit further out. That way it's not bothering her, because somehow she will feel that the extensions are there and it's going to bother her, even though I know it's not glued to her lash line. I do this technique for a lot of my clients who do have very sensitive eyes. I don't normally like to place it this far out, but I do it for specific clients, and I have used her for a couple of my videos here on YouTube. So that's why you guys probably have seen her. Anyways, as you can tell, now I'm working on a different section. So I'm trying to do big chunky sections in sections. So I'm going to count quite a few lashes over and then start working within that section. And again, I apologize that her eyes don't stop moving. I probably should have taped them down a little bit, but I kind of just wanted to work with what I had, and I didn't want to take too long doing this. So for this set, all I'm doing is spikes all throughout the set, and I did add a little bit of fans here and there, but not too many. I didn't want it to look like a full volume set. I still wanted to look like it was a wet set. So in this section right here, I was technically supposed to be working in the next section over, but as you can tell, I didn't have that many lashes on that side, so I pretty much scooted it a little bit more into the center of the eye, but I'm still using 13, 12, 11, 10 on the outer center. That way it looks like it's a shorter spike, because I'm still trying to mimic the look of a doll eye, meaning that it's longer in the middle and shorter on the outer corners. So I ended up doing 3 chunky bold spikes right in the middle using all those numbers that I had placed. And as you can tell, I'm double checking my work, making sure that it does look very spiky and bold. So now I'm going to be working within the middle section towards the inner corner. I'm going to place 13 millimeters first, and then I'm going to grab a lash next to it, place a 12, and then another extension on the other side. So I'm pretty much just doing that. I'm working within sections and I'm counting, and I'm pretty much just, I don't have a specific order on how I'm doing this. I'm just counting a few lashes over and leaving a big chunk in the center of each section, if that makes sense. So you can clearly see what it is that I'm doing here. I'm pretty much just placing the longer spike on the first lash on the middle section, and then I'm going to count over to the next lash that's underneath it or next it, and place the shorter lash, meaning in 11 or 10, and then underneath that one I'm going to place an even shorter lash. So you're pretty much placing the longest length first, and then you're going to be going down in numbers in every section. So the bottom lash is always going to be the shortest length, and that's what's going to give you that very dramatic bold spike that we are going for. And again, I'm counting over to the next lash, and I'm going to be placing an even shorter lash. So I'm only placing one long spike right in the center, and then from there I'm going down each lash. So each lash that you place, you're going to be going down in numbers. So I came back to the section that I didn't finish earlier, and now I'm going to be placing a 12, and then next to that one I'm going to be placing an 11 millimeter, and then underneath that one I'm going to be placing a 10 millimeter. So that's pretty much as simple as that. Again, you don't have to be so dramatic and place different numbers. You could just use the same number, but I feel like going down in numbers within the layers gives it a more dramatic wispy look, and that's what I was going for. I know this is a very advanced technique, so if you are a beginner, it's going to be a little tedious. So I do recommend for you guys to semi-know how to do a wispy set. If you don't know, I do have my online wispy masterclass that you can take for only $19.99. You can sign up to my Yoyis Plus membership and you will get access to all my online courses. You will also get access to half off my products and free shipping if you are within the United States. So I recommend for you guys to take full advantage of that and learn how to do wispy styling from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to travel to me, and doing this set will make a lot more sense once you actually get down the basics of how to do a wispy set. Okay, so now jumping back in, I'm pretty much just gonna start checking on all those sections and seeing if they look good. And I'm going to do the last spike all the way on the outer corner, and I'm going to be working with 11, 10, 9, 8 spikes within that tiny little section. So now I'm just going to add some music here for you guys and let you guys enjoy the rest of the process, because I feel like I've been talking a lot and maybe confusing a bunch of you guys. It's easier for you guys to see what it is that I'm doing instead of hearing what I'm saying, because it might confuse you a little bit. So now again, I placed 11, and now I'm going to be placing a 10 underneath that one, and then a 9 next to it, and then an 8 all the way at the bottom. So as you guys can tell, that's pretty much the order that I'm going, even though the numbers makes it look a little confusing, but I'm pretty much just working within the layers and the section, and pretty much the rest of the set from here on out, I'm just going to be placing spikes. And spikes means volume lashes unfanned. So no, I'm not using classic lashes. These are all volume lashes. And again, I'm using 0.03. You can use 0.05 if you want, but I'm going for something a little more softer. If you want your spikes to be a little more dramatic, then yeah, use a 0.05. But as you can tell, this is how I want my sections to look. I want them to look very dramatic and very bold. So again, we are mimicking the look of doing a chunky bold spike, but it's not actually chunky because we're working with smaller spikes, just doing bigger sections. So again, the rest of everything, I'm just going to be doing volume lashes on fans. So technically spikes throughout the whole set, and here and there I'll add a fan. So if you want your set to look more of a volume set, then the rest you can just go in with volume fans. And for the entire set, so the two inner sections, I'm going to be doing 8 millimeters. And then the middle entire section, I'm going to be doing 9 millimeters. And then the two outer sections, I'm going to be doing 8 millimeters. So that's all I'm using, 8, 9, and 8. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the entire rest of the lash line. And I know I didn't write it on her lash map because, again, there were so many numbers and I didn't want to confuse you guys. So you can literally just go in with 8 millimeters all throughout the bottom set of the rest of the lashes are not a lash, or you could do 9, or you could do 8, 8, 9, 8, 8. So that's pretty much what I did. I'm just gonna add some music here for you guys to enjoy the rest of me lashing, because obviously I've been talking the entire time. So I'm just gonna let you guys enjoy this, and I'll be right back if I have any more tips.
About me and you, things we used to do, it's all in the past now. When I hear that song, I just wanna sing along. I know I don't belong with you anymore.
Okay, so as you guys can see, I noticed right away that this lash was way too thick, especially when you're paying attention to how her natural lashes are. If you notice a lash that is way too thick, most likely she has more than one lash stuck to each other. So you want to make sure that you're going in there and separating both lashes, because if you were to put an extension on that single lash, even though it has two, you will cause a lot of damage, because again, lashes grow in different rates. You want to make sure you're fully isolating and that nothing is getting getting stuck. And always double check at the end when you're done. You always want to go through every single lash and make sure that it's only one extension per lash. I am going to be doing a full video on how to avoid stickies and how to avoid watery eyes and all that. I do have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel where I kind of go over all that throughout my videos, but I'm going to be doing dedicated videos just for those things because I know those are things that you guys do struggle with. And as you guys clearly saw, pretty much I was just going back and forth between the entire section and placing a spike and then a fan here and there. I didn't go crazy with the fans. I probably placed about 10 fans through entire lash line, so I didn't want to go too crazy. And as you can tell, it's looking very good. It's giving me that very chunky strip lash look. So now I'm going to finish her off using Seal the Deal. This is my Superbonder. Using Superbonder at the end of your sets is going to ensure that that glue fully dries from the inside out. I talk about it in all my videos, and I'm so happy that I can finally talk about my own Superbonder, and this Superbonder is just amazing and I love it so much. So I am using a disposable nylon brush. This one is a very different kind of brush, and I will have a link down below for you guys, but you guys can go in and use a micro brush if you guys prefer that. So now I'm just fanning her out and making sure that everything looks good. Now I'm going to start removing off the eye pads. I want to make sure that nothing is stuck, so making sure that you lift up her eyes and double check if she has nothing stuck, meaning any of the extensions. And that's pretty much what I like to do, is I like to lift them up and double check to see if anything is stuck. So if you guys are struggling and if you guys are getting your extensions glued to the bottom of her iPads, then I will have a separate video on how to avoid all that. So that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did like this video, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you are new here, make sure to subscribe. That way you guys don't miss out on all my future content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
I feel it in my soul.